Cut. Okay. So previously in earlier classes we discussed about how to create the client creation. So we discussed about the client creation and logical systems. So these things we discussed: logical systems creation, right? Client creation and logical system creation we discussed. So now we will discuss how to log into the newly created client. How to log into newly created client. This is what we are going to discuss now. So client creation, we know like SCC4 is the transaction code. There we can go ahead and we will create the client. But before that, we have to define the logical system. Then we have to assign the logical system during the client creation. So these things we discussed. So now we'll discuss about how to log in, how to log into the newly created client, how to log into the newly created client. So why? Because for default clients, so for default client either 000 or 001, we know there the default users will be created. DDAC and SAP star users will be created, right? Default users will be created, but the client which you created is the new client. The client which you created is the new client. But so how to log in? You cannot log in with SAP star and DDAC users. So you cannot log in to the SAP star and DDAC user after immediately you create the new client. After immediately you create the new client, you cannot immediately log into the newly created client. For that one, there we have to enable the enable the so SAP star with password. You have to enable it. The emergency user, you have to enable it. For that one, you need to change the you need to change the one parameter. You need to change the one parameter you need to change it. Okay. So what is that parameter? What are the parameters and where the parameter exists and everything? So a new concept will come, that is called the profile and parameter administration. Okay. In the client copy only, there is one new topic that is called the, in this client copy we will get the two new topics. Okay. So one is the profile and parameter administration, and the second one is the RFC destinations creation. New topic, two new topics will come. So then client copies will be, next one is the client copies. Okay. So now how to log into the newly created client means, before that, so we need to discuss about the profile and parameter administration. So what is this profiles and parameter administration? Okay. By default in SAP, we have two types of profiles will be created. Two types of profiles will be created. So one is the instance profile. Second one is the default profile. Instance profile and default profile. Okay. So what is the instance profile? All instances means, so application server, SAP application server, whenever you do the installation, two instances will be created, right? One is the primary application server and ASCS instance. Two instances will be created. So two profiles. In the instance profile, we have the two profiles. Okay. In the default profile, we have only one profile, that is called the default. All default parameters, default.pfl. This is a file. Profiles means the files will be created at operating system level, and we can change it from the SAP level also. There are some transaction codes. Okay. So instance profile and default profile. Instance profile, two types of instances will be available. One is the application server related profile, primary application server related profile, and ASCS instance profile. ASCS instance profile. ASCS instance profile means ASCS, what will be, what process will be in the it will be stored into the ASCS message server, NQ server, right? Only message server, NQ server related parameters are available in the ASCS. So remaining all dialog work process, background work process, so whatever you want to change it, other instance specific related parameters are available in the primary application server profile. So remaining all the default related parameters are available in the default profile. Default profile, it is available in the all the default related parameters. Okay, got it? So this is the default.pfl related. The file name would be default.profile, and here the SID, the profiles like here from SID underscore DV BMJS underscore dot PFL SID. So like that, hostname underscore hostname dot PFL, like that, the naming conventions will be available. I will show you how it will be. Okay, same as like here also. Okay, so what is this profile means? This profiles contains parameters. Profiles contains parameters. In these parameters are like our settings, connection settings, our settings, connection settings. Suppose in our mobile devices, we have the settings tab available, right? Every mobile device, there are the some settings tab. In this settings tab, so we can change our configurations, right? We can change our configuration to whatever our preferred custom configuration, whatever our preferred configuration, we can change it. Suppose in a mobile phone, by default, I will get the by default ringtone. By default, I will get the image, wallpaper, theme, settings, sound settings, everything by default I will get out. Same as like during the SAP installation as well. By default, you will get all the SAP recommended settings, default settings you will get out. 10 dialog work process. So 6 background work process, 1 update, 1 spool, default client is this one, default client is this one, like that we will get the default settings, right? So for that one you need to change that one, right? We will change it, depends upon your needs, depends upon your interest. Whatever the ringtone you want to change it, you can change it. Theme you are changing and everything. Same here also, depends upon the business. Suppose you want to change the dialog process to 10 to 20, you can change it. 10 to 20 to 10, you cannot change, you can change it. Maybe client number you want to change it, you can change it. So whatever you want, like you can change it, anything, all the changes like system settings. In a mobile, we have the settings tab, right? Same as like SAP, we have, there is some profiles and parameters concept to change it, the system configurations and everything. So there you have to go to the profiles and parameters, where you can change it. But okay, in mobile, we have the settings tab, we can change it. But where the in the SAP level? In SAP level, we have two transaction codes, RJ10 and RJ11. In these two transaction codes, you can go ahead and you can change it. So how to change it? Like, let me show you here. Okay. So I'm connecting to the our server. Okay, so it's already connected. You can see I connected to the server here. So here you can see I'm going to change it like RJ10. RJ10 is the transaction code to change the system profiles here. Just if we click on profile button, you see some profiles are there. These are the some other wrongly they have created. You can ignore these two. These are the three profiles, two instance profile and one default profile. So two instance profile, one default profile, right? You can see two instance profile, one default profile. So these are our guys wrongly created during the practice. You can ignore last three, but these are the main profiles which will be created during the installation. So these are the profiles. Okay, just click on these profiles. Just click on these profiles. So what we can do, we can import the profiles from the OS level, operating system level. Whenever if you don't see profiles from here, just click on the import button. Okay, just click on the import button. Okay, so here we see, so instance specific instance profiles. Here we have the instances, right? 08, 11, 12. We have the instance profiles and also one default profile and ASCS profile. These are the application servers. These are the application servers related profiles. So are available here. Application servers related profiles are available here. Okay. So let me open any one of the profile. Suppose if you open the ASCS, all ASCS related, all like all message server, NQ server related settings here available. And if you open any instance related profile, like we have the instance, right? Application server. So the naming convention you can see here, SID underscore D instance number underscore hostname dot TFL. That is the naming convention. So you have to select the any one of the profile. If you want to change the any parameter, you have to select that instance profile, go to the extended maintenance, click on the display. Click on the display. So here you can see here you can see. So here we have the all the parameters and profiles are available. Here dialog with processor 7, BTC 7, update 1. This all are the settings are available. You can see all settings are available in the profiles. So if your profiles are not available here, just click on the change button. Just click on the go to the create button. Just change the parameter. Whatever the parameter you want to change it, you can change it. Here number of parameters are available and number of parameters are available. You can change it. You can change it. Same thing, you can change it and save it, activate it, then restart. For this task, you need to restart the application server. You need to restart the application server. So that's why profile and parameter administration, you need to restart the server. So basically, we have the two types of profiles are available during the installation. One is the instance profile. If you create the multiple instances, you have the multiple application servers and one ASCS profiles and a default profile. All the default settings are available in default profile. Okay, all default settings are available in the default profile. Okay, RJ10 is the transaction code where you can go ahead and change the all the profiles. RJ10 transaction code. Here in this transaction code, you have to go and change the profile. So, but when you change in RJ10 transaction code, you need to restart the system. You need to restart the system. Then only the changes will be affected. The changes will be affected. So the changes will be affected, which means when you change the parameters in the RJ10, immediately it won't affect. You need to restart the system. You need to restart the SAP. Then only the changes will be affected. But when you some parameters are that these parameters are called the static parameters. Static parameters. Okay. So when you change the parameters here in RJ11, you no need to restart. You don't need to restart the system. You don't need to restart the program. But these parameters are the dynamic parameters. Dynamic parameters. Okay, dynamic. Okay, in the parameters, the profiles two types of parameter, two types of profiles are available: instance profile and a default profile. Right. So at the same time, instance profile contains the instance specific related parameters. Default specific related parameters are available in the profile. Profile contains the parameters. Just one line sentence, two line sentence, the parameters will be. In that parameter itself, few parameters, immediately it will be affected. You no need to restart the system. Those parameters are called the dynamic parameters. Dynamically, immediately the parameters will be affected. But when you change the some parameters, you need to restart the system. Those parameters are called the static parameters. So RZ11, static parameters, you can change it from, so RZ11, these are the permanent changes. But RZ11, you no need to change the parameter, you don't need to restart the system. These are the dynamic parameters. Immediately you can go to the RZ11, you can change the parameters from the RZ11. So the parameters which are changeable from RZ11, those are called the dynamic parameters, which means immediately the value will be affected. The parameters which are not changeable, which are only display mode, or the parameters which are changing in RZ10, Those are the permanent changes. You no need to restart the system. You have to restart the system. Then only changes will be affected. You got right differences. Clear, right? What is the difference between the static parameters and dynamic parameters? And RZ10, RZ11. So parameters, we have to change it from the RZ10 and RZ11 are the transaction code. Is it clear? Any confusion?
No, sir.
Okay, it's clear, right? Like suppose in RZ10 is the static parameter. Static parameter means, so when you restart the system, that time the value will be affected. How the value will be affected means, let's see here. Okay, so we have, I went to the RZ10 is the transaction code for changing the parameters. Okay, there is a requirement to, so there is a requirement to increase the dialog work process value to 7 to, there is a dialog work process value 7. Okay, all the dialog work process, the work process related parameters, these are the work process related parameters. See, so for dialog, DIA, for BTC, we can see BTC background, 3 letters, spool, SPO, update, VB. So here NQ, NQ. So related some parameters are available. These are the parameter, RD splash, WP underscore, NO underscore, DIA, dialog, BTC background, spool. So if you change the value of this the value of this number, now total 7 work process are available in the system dialog. I want to change it to the 6 or 5, then you can change it here. Or if you want to increase, you can increase it. I'm changing value to, so 5. 5 work process I'm changing. So just click on the save button. Okay, then go back, then save. Okay, just to go back 2 times, save, sorry, copy and activate, save. The profile value will be affected. The value will be affected. Okay, activated. So here you see, to affecting the activation of the profile, you have to restart the application server. See here, it's written, you have to restart the application server. But restarting the application server during the business hours, it is not possible. So only weekends we have to do that one, or out of the business hours we have to perform it. So in this case, so we are only in the system, right? Then we can go ahead and restart the system. So let's see, if we go to the SM50, here we can see the how many processes are there? 7 processes are there, 7 dialog work process. Now what we changed, 7 to 5. So 7 to 5 we changed it. But immediately is it affected? No. Why? Because the work process related parameters are static parameter. After you changes, you need to restart the specific application server, you need to change it. So then you have to change it. So before restarting, you need to check cross always in our organization. We need to check how many users are there in the system, what they are doing in the system. We have to check. We have to check all these things. We have to check it out. Once you've done, once you changes, so we have to go to the MMC and you need to do the restart. Okay, MMC, you have to do the restart. You have to open the MMC, then you need to restart the system. You need to restart the system. Okay, so now 11 application server, 11th application server, right? Application server number, right click and just restart. Restart means it will stop and it will be started automatically, right? It will be start and it will stop automatically. I just click the restart button. It will be stopped completely. It will be stopped. See, application server is shut down. Application server is down now. Okay, application server is down, which means, so whenever you just click on the any one of the button, you cannot log in now system. Why? Because now application server is down. But when you use the group application server, you have to reconnect it. So, but you will connect it. But whenever you use the single application server, 11 application server, you cannot connect it. Why? Because currently we are restarting the application server. We are restarting the application server. That's why we cannot connect to this application server. We cannot connect to this application server. Okay, so let's see. This should be completely up. This should be completely up. Okay. See, at least to log into the system, at least one dialog or process to come to waiting status, right? So now you can see waiting status are there. All dialog or process are in the waiting status. So waiting status, and if it's fully in the green status, now we can log in now. Just when you click on the double click on the system, now you logging into the system now. So just logging with user. So I connected to the here. I connected to the here. Now go to SM50 is the transaction code to verify the how many work process are there. Okay. Now you can see now 5 work process are there. Right? We changed it. How you changed it? We changed the one parameters. If you go to the RJ10, go to the RJ10, select the any one of the instance profile. What instance you are selecting? Go to the extended maintenance. Just click on the change button. Here 5 is there. Then you can change the 5. Suppose I want to change the BTC work process to 7 to 3. We can change it. So and also I want to change the system client. System now login slash system underscore client. This is the one of the parameter which will refer default login of the client. Suppose let's change this one. Okay, just click on the copy button, go back, save, activate. Okay, go back, save, and activate the profile. Then the profile is activated. Here you have to restart the system. This is what we have to do it from the here in the RJ10. So this is the static parameter. Definitely when you change in RJ10, you have to restart it. Now let's go to the RJ11 transaction. RJ11, you have only display. You need to choose it. Which parameter you have to change it. Which parameter you need to change it. You need to enter it here. You have to enter it here. Which parameter you have to change it. You have to enter it. Few parameters like gateway. Suppose gateway related pair. Each topic, whatever the process we discussed, spools, gateway, so message server, key server, dialog process, the BTC, each and everything, there are some settings available in the systems. Those we can go ahead and you can change it here. Suppose gateway. So gateway related parameters are dynamic parameters. Okay, few parameters are dynamic. You can change. You can go to the here. You can just click on. So change button here. Then it will be impacted. There is no need to restart the system. It will be impacted automatically. Automatically it will be changed. Okay, this type of settings we have to do it in the RJ11. Suppose you want to change the parameters of the dialog work process. Instead of changing in the RJ10, you have to go. You are going to the RJ11. Just clicking on the display button. Then there is no option of the change value. If there is no value of the change value, if the change value exists, that is the dynamic parameter. If the change value not exist here, this is the only display value. So nothing is there, which means this is the static parameters. It's not the dynamic parameter. It's the static parameters. It's the static parameters. Only static parameters means where we have to change it. What is the transaction code? We have to go to the RJ10, then select the profile, instance profile, then go to the extended maintenance, clicking on the display button, then you can change the value here. You can change the value here. Like that, we have to change the value. Okay, got it? The same time, so whenever you open it, you are getting the one of the default client. Client is called 001, but we should not log into the 001. We need to create the new client. So under that, we have to log in it, right? We can also change this client settings. Also, we can change it. So if you go to the one system, if you go to the system, same the parameter value you have to change it. The parameter value we have to change it. If you go to the RJ10, then select the profile, extended maintenance, then extended maintenance. So system underscore system login slash system underscore client. This parameter you need to change it. So if you go back, change it to the 100 client to 100 client or 100, then the default client will be changed. So suppose let me change system underscore client is equal to 100. Then go back, save it, activate it. Okay, go back and activate. Then when you activate it, you need to restart the application server. Then go ahead and restart the application server. Okay, restart, save. You have new systems as well to connect it. Okay, you have the new systems as well here. You can see in this new system we have so 10 dialog work process, 6 background work process remaining are there. So if you want to change it, we can also change it to the so maybe some smaller value or higher values we can change it. Smaller value, higher values we can change it. Smaller value, higher values we can change it. See now, the application server is getting down now. It's getting down now. It's down, completely down. Starting mode now. Okay, you know, right? How to stop and start means. So if suppose if you want to stop individual application server, select the individual application server, you can stop and start. Suppose you want to stop entire application, entire SID, entire systems. You have the 10 application servers, you have the one ASS instance, you want to stop entire thing, right click and stop and start. So this is two ways we can do. If you want to stop it, right click on the SID, you can stop and start. So no, I want to only stop the specific application server, select the specific application server, then you can start it. So like that we can do the, so we can stop and start, we can do that one. Okay, so it's completely up now. Okay, now just click on this button, login button. Now you see our system underscore logon client button is equal to 100 client now. All right, now it's a 100 client. Now we have to log into the 100 client only. Now we have to log into the 100 client. Okay, now I logged into the 100 client. Simple. Why? Because my user is existing the 100 client only. So that's why I logged into the 100 client. Okay. So 100 client I logged in. Okay. Each client, suppose now you are logging with the SAP star with the DDIC user in old already created clients SAP star DDIC you are logging in. But default you cannot log into the newly created client. There are no users. You cannot log in. Why? Because the client which you created, just only you created the client, not the only you created the client, not the user. So only client you created, not the user. So that's why you cannot log into the newly created client. In this case, what we have to do? We need to enable the SAP star. SAP star, we have to enable it. So for that one, we need to change the one parameter, you need to change it. That parameter is called the login slash no underscore automatic no underscore automatic underscore user underscore SAP star. This parameter we have to change it. The parameter value 0, we need to make it 1, which is the 1, we need to make it the 0. So this parameter value we have to change it. Where we have to change the parameter? Where we have to change the parameter? In RZ10, RZ11. That's why we discussed it, right? In RZ11, let's see, is the dynamic value or not. So it's not the dynamic value. It's not the dynamic value. So by default, it should be 1, which means automatic login of the parameter value is disabled status. So if it is the 0, the value is 0, then we can log in. We can log into the with the SAP star with the pass. Pass is the password. To SAP star with pass is the password. We can log into the newly created client. The client which you created newly, you can log in with SAP star and BDAC. You can log in directly. So let's see here what are the users are there here. Suppose what are the clients are there here. You see there is a 800 client is there, 800 client, right? We can log into the 800 client now. Let's see whether it will be allowed to log in or not. Okay, so 800. I'm changing the client number to 800. Then here SAP star. Then if we use PASS, then I am able to log into the newly created client, which means the parameter already enabled. The value is equal to 0. Then if the value is equal to 0, we can log into the SAP star with the pass. We can log into the the value is 1. If the parameter value is 1, you cannot log in. You cannot log into the means it means so automatic user login is disabled status. Automatic login user is the disabled status. You cannot log into the systems. So that's why. So that's why we discussed about the parameters and profile and parameter administration topic. We discussed the parameter and profile administration topic. We discussed, right? So SAP star with pass we can log in. So in the password is the password only. So any client, any newly created client, the client which you created newly, we can log in with SAP star with the pass value, we can log in. Right? Suppose how to log in means you need to change this parameter value to 0. So where we have to change this parameter value? Where we have to change the parameters? In which transaction code we have to change the parameters?
RZ10.
RZ10, excellent. So in RZ10, yeah, RZ10, we have to change the parameter. After the changing the parameter, what you have to do? You need to restart the system. See here, when you change the parameter in RZ10, you need to restart the system. Then only the changes, whatever the changes you have affected, the changes will be affected. And then RZ11, you don't need to restart the system. Suppose same parameter will see, you will go and see in the RZ11. If it is the only display status in RZ10, it is only RZ11, it is only display status. If you go to the RZ11, just clicking on the parameter name, click on the display. If it is only display, there is no value, there is no change button here. There is no change button, which means it is only documentation is there. This is only just documentation. So this here there is no change value here, which means this is a static parameter. Definitely you need to restart the system. Suppose few parameters, suppose like gateway maximum connections and so these are also static parameter only. There is no change value. Okay, some few parameters, suppose like if I go and see here gateway sim mode, this parameter value change value, there is a change button is there. There is a change button. If the value is there, right, then what you can do, so the value is there, then immediately the changes will be affected. Immediately the change will be affected here. It means, so this is the gateway related info, security related parameters. So if the value is 0, we have to change it to the 1. 1 to 0, we can change it here. So the basically here what we need to look, if the value in the RZ11, if you are in the RZ11, if the change value is enabled, then that is the dynamic parameter. Okay, how can we tell, how can we prove which parameter is dynamic, which parameter is static? If anyone asks that question, if the parameter is changeable in RZ11, changeable means the change value is enabled, that is the dynamic parameter. But dynamic parameter only, you no need to restart the system. Immediately the value will be affected. So in RZ11, if the parameter value is changeable, that is the dynamic parameter. If not changeable value, there is no value here. Just to have only these two tabs, only display, that is called the static parameter. Then definitely you have to go to the RZ10, then here select the profile, which profile you want to change it. Then go to the extended maintenance, clicking on the change button. Here you can change the value. You can change the value of the parameter. Here you can change it. Okay, here you can change the value of the parameter. You can change it. That's what we have to do it in the here. Okay, that's what we have to do it in the system. See here, previously here we have the 7 dialog. We have to change it to the 5. Here 7 background. We have to change it to the 3. Right? The values we decrease it. If you want to increase, you can increase as well. We can increase as well. And also we changed the Default to login to 100 client. Here we login. Default to login to the 100 we logged it. We changed it. So either way, if you want to change it, you can change it. You can change the value of the parameters. So which means whenever you want to log into the newly created client. So previously we created the new client, right? Suppose 100 or 800 or 200 or 777, we created the new clients. Then client creation is done. But after that, what we have to do? Yesterday, the previous classes we discussed about client creation, we have discussed that is done. But if you want to log into the newly created client, which you created, then what you have to do? You need to change the one parameter. In parameter value, we have to change it. Where we have to change the parameter means in RZ10, RZ11, we have to change it. That's why we are discussing about the profile and parameter administration. Okay, now you got the full clarity, right? So what is this profile and parameters? Profile contains parameter. Inside of the profile, you have the parameters. Okay, so we have the basically we have the two types of profiles are available: instance profile and a default profile. Instance means if you install the multiple application server instances, you have the multiple profiles are available under the instance profile. So then default is for the common, all the default settings, default language, so default client, default SID, instance number, database asset, all these items are available in the default PFL. So here we can change the parameters, but where we have to change it? RZ11, RZ11. Why we have the two transaction code? When you change the RZ10, definitely you need to, they will ask you questions. So please make sure. So you need to remember all these words. They will ask you, what is the difference between RZ10 and RZ11? What you will tell now? If they ask you questions, what is the difference between RZ10 and RZ11? RZ10, you need to restart the system, then only the parameter value affected, and also it is the static parameters. When you change the in RZ11, you no need to restart the system. It's a dynamic parameters. These two sentences, these two words you have to tell for each and every transaction code. RZ10, RZ11. So suppose sometimes they will ask you questions. You created the client, that is fine. But how will you log into the newly created client? Which user first time you will log in? What is your answer?
Default user, SAP star.
SAP star?
With password.
Password. How will you enable this SAP star with password? Definitely the settings should be enabled in SAP system, right? So how will you enable that one? What you will change it here?
For using RZ10,
okay,
we need to change the 0 value.
Okay, this is the parameter. Okay, so see, no automatic user star is equal to 0, which means you can automatically log into the your as a newly created client. So any client you can log in. Once you change the parameter value in one client, in other clients also it will be affected. That is why parameter and profile is for the system wide changes. So in any client you can log in and change this value, then automatically can log into the newly created client. So initially after you log into the newly created client, SAP star with pass, we have to use it. Okay, this is the way we have to log in. It's clear, right? I hope it's clear, right? Profiles and parameter administration, how to log into the newly created client, then how to enable the SAP star with password. So this one, you clear, right? Yeah. So if you clear this one, the next one tomorrow, once you to practice today, you practice this today. Tomorrow we are going to discuss about the client copies. Okay, you logged into the newly created client, but after that what? After that what we have to do in the new client? So we need business data. Why? Because as of now you created all the users, all everything in the 000. In a 001 clients, you created all the customization, your data, development code, everything is available in the 000 and 001. Now we need to pull that from 000 to your new client. You have to pull it. How to do that one? So that concept is called the client copies, copying the data from one client to another client. That we will discuss tomorrow. Slowly, one by one, we will discuss. Okay. Today, you practice all these things. Okay. I will give what parameters you have to change it, everything in our group, but you have to change it. Now you know, right? RJ10 and RJ11, we have to change it. Okay. That I will give the one assignment to you. So after the completion.